How's it going, everybody? My name is Kuzo Games. Welcome back to the channel, and it's nighttime right now, so I'm probably going to be a little quieter than I usually am. Not really, well, it's kind of nighttime, alright? And today we're doing something a little different. If you don't know, I actually play Honkai Star Rail. That's pretty much the only Honkai game I ask, so don't ask me about any of that other stuff, alright? Because it won't happen. But, today this video is a little inspired. I had a conversation with a couple friends, and I've come to see that I have very different opinions on some of these characters. So you know what? I thought, what better way to humor myself and see how I really feel about all these characters. If you're here with that, you know, remember to like, comment, subscribe even. It don't cost you nothing. Just show the channel some love. Thank you. I really do appreciate you guys. Now, to give it a little bit of guidelines for this, I'm pretty much counting all the Trailblazers as like the same, like 2 units. On here they have like their, I guess, like their different like powers. I'm not really ranking any of these based on like how strong they are or like versatility wise. Just pretty much how much I like them, right? This is gonna be a bit of a longer video, so if you're falling asleep to it or something, let my soothing voice. I can't even say that with a straight face. Let's just get into it, man. Let's see. Starting with the first two, our Trailblazers, our buddies on this long expedition. Is it? I don't know what their canon names are. I think they're. Is it Kalis? Kylis? Kalis and Stella? Kalis for male, Stell for female. Okay, well I was close if not right. These two are alright. I like them as far as protagonists go. They got a good bit of quirkiness in them. I don't know if I could hang out with them, because these two are a couple of straight delinquents, alright? They're your like textbook thugs when you really stop and think about it. You meet them and they're carrying around baseball bats, call themselves the Galactic Baseball Star, and they have like, again, I'd like to just go on to say this is like, because it occurs to me I didn't say it earlier, but this is spoilers for Honkai Star Rail. If you haven't played the game up to the latest content, then be warned. I haven't done all the content yet, so some of my opinions are subject to change. The game is always advancing, so how I feel about certain people might change now compared to later. But these two, they're pretty alright. You know what? Textbook MCs, they're subject to change based off of how you perceive them, what kind of actions you carry out. But these are your they're a couple of thugs, a couple of delinquents, goons if you will, carrying around baseball bats, hanging out with trash cans. Their strange asphyxiation with garbage. Yeah, no, I think I've used almost every word to describe hooligan. Hooligan is a good word. There are a couple of hooligans. Rambunctious use, wayward use that got caught up with the wrong crowd and then got caught up on a train. And yeah, it's usually pretty fun to see what dialogue options I have in terms of how they feel and interact with the world around them. So you know what, they're pretty solid. We can give them B tier. Coming up next, we have Bailu. I'm kind of just keeping Bailu right here for now. Bailu is a weird mix for me. Bailu, believe it or not, was actually my first ever 5-star character in this game. And, she's a healer. My team desperately need one of those. I know I said I wasn't gonna consider gameplay aspects when I made this tier list, but Bailu is a weird case for me, right? Because, again, spoilers. If y'all don't know this, Bailu, as far as I'm aware, is one of like the 3 Vidyahara. I don't know why I'm trying to use technical terms. She's like one of the 3 like dragon characters in Star Rail, and of the 3, she definitely feels like the weakest in the sense that she gets bullied by adults like all the time. Like, I'm pretty sure you have to rescue her from being like kidnapped. They use her as like a hostage in a situation, and I'm like, bro, you're not that guy. You're like the one that screams the most dragon to me with like the horns, the tail, at least up to a point, right? And for her to be as like strong as she's supposed to be, it's like she's not pulling enough weight, right? I don't feel like she is. So we're gonna drop Bailu down to C tier. Again, I might reevaluate this later, given how I feel about other characters, but do I like Bailu as much as I like the Trailblazers? No, I don't think I do. She's alright, she's okay. You know, she's a kid, right? So it's like, I can't say I, hate her for it, but I don't really love her for it either. So she can hang out there. Next up, we got Bronya. Bronya gets put in like a terrible position, like really early on in the game. And you know what? I feel for her. I feel for her. I really do. Bronya's in a real tight spot when you meet her, and she's still kind of in a tight spot when you leave. You leave Belobog, you come back, she's ready to celebrate, she's finally got a big situation, she gets put right back in another tight situation. She just can't catch a break. Bronya cannot catch a break, and I feel so sad for her. It's really just so sad. But you know what, Bronya, you can catch a break with me. You can be ahead of the Trailblazers. As far as Bronya's character goes, she's responsible, right? She's considerate, thinks about the people around her. There's a part in the game where she's like she's under a lot of stress to try to make like the right call for what she has to do for pretty much everybody living on the planet, because she's the president of Belobog now after her mom really truly screwed the pooch. But in terms of greater, I think when I look at this list of characters, there's a lot of people who I guess kind of pop out at me more. Not to say Bronya's like a bad character, but she doesn't really like... I guess I wouldn't say... I'd say Bronya doesn't have like too many huge character moments that really like pop out to me, right? She's smart. I'll give her that. She's smart. She thinks her way through situations a lot, and I can respect that. She can sit in B tier. I got nothing against her, right? I don't have any negatives against Bronya that come to mind when I see or think about her. But there aren't too many positives outside of like nothing really like crazy, you know. So Bronya can sit in B tier with the Trailblazers, not bad. Clara, I don't hate Clara. Clara's kind of a mystery to me, because I see her and I think Santa Claus. And look, it's between the hair color and like the red and white like jacket. I always see her and think Santa Claus. She almost kind of reminds me of like a Delibird, if you know the Pokemon. Also, like, I think she's like an orphan, I think. And I'm about to expose how little I know about this story. But she's like an orphan that got adopted by robots and then turned around and ran a robot adoption center. Like, she's hanging out in the snow with a bunch of robots. Think about that for a second. She's like the head honcho robot boss, partnered up with Svarog, who is actually like the head honcho robot. Svarog is like the granddaddy of all granddaddies out there on Belobog. Like, nobody out there is smarter than he is. And she's just chilling with him. That's her pops for all we know. But honest to God, could we get her some shoes? Like, it's gotta be cold out there. I spent like one day in snow where I live. One of the hardest days of my life. Somebody get her some shoes. Anyway, I don't hate Clara, and it's gonna feel weird ranking her higher up than Bailu, considering all the stuff I said about Bailu. But I feel like Clara just doesn't have quite as much, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? She doesn't have so much like background stuff going for her the same way Bailu here is like built up to be like, oh, she's like the next successor to, you know, such and such power. She's supposed to, you know, like lead us all one day. Claire's just a kid, right? Like she might as well just be, she's literally like just a kid. She doesn't have any like crazy responsibility or anything, but nobody's messing with her. Why? Because she's got Svarog with her. He's like the ultimate bodyguard. Clara's cool. She runs like the robot adoption center or whatever. So I got no real qualms with Clara. She can chill in B tier with everybody else. B tier is gonna get really like bloated really fast, so I'm gonna have to start discriminating a little bit more. Japard, you can sit and see. I don't have this character, so I can't say he's ever like done anything crazy to me. Well, I do have him. I just haven't used him. he's another kind of like blah whatever character to me, right? Like he's like the head of the guards or whatever, Bellabog security guy. But that's pretty much it. Like I can't remember anything super notable or noteworthy about his character. He's just Jabard to me. That's all I got to say. He's the shield guy, and I'm sure he's carried a lot of people. But he wasn't my shield guy, you know? I don't know, I feel like maybe it's just a problem with the Bellabog crew that I just didn't get to see them do a whole lot, you know? Himiko. Honest to God, I feel kind of the same way about Himiko. She's around with the crew for a lot longer, right? But I can't say I remember Himiko really doing a whole lot. She did fire a space laser once. I do remember that. Alright, maybe C is a little harsh on Himiko, right? Being like the spearhead of the Trailblaze. I feel like I can at least put Himiko at B. Welt, on the other hand, now there's a fine specimen right there. I can't say, look, no funny business aside, right? Welt, as far as I'm concerned, has done about as much as Himiko has. With the exception that Welt has a black hole in his cane. And to me, that's the coolest thing ever. Because, like, who on this list can you not shut down by threatening to put them in a black hole? There's like maybe 2 or 3 people on this list that will call your bluff. Everybody else is folding. Well, like, he alone is the immaculate. Look at the sauce. I don't know what to say, but it's just, he's got this aura about him that I don't feel Himiko has. And Himiko's got the space laser, right? I've seen the ult, it's cool. And apparently like a saw blade drone or whatever, but it's not a black hole. I don't know what to say. I'm sorry. Welt's just got Himiko beat. That, and I feel like I've done more on the ground with Welt than I have Himiko. So Himiko can sit in B, but Welt's taking that first A spot right there. Now this dork right here. That's not fair. That's not fair. I'm letting bias get to me. My friends, and they're gonna have some stuff to say to me about this. They're gonna have some stuff to say about me for pretty much a lot of my takes on this tier list. But I can't say, they say he's like the worst character in the game. Like that he just absolutely sucks. However, my interactions with him have not been like that negative. He's just kind of there, right? Like he's on the Laofu or whatever. He's supposed to be, I think it's Jingwan's, like disciple, like his like next in line or whatever. I don't really see it. I don't think he's really like that guy. He did put in some work in the Luminary, I think is what it was, the Luminary War Dance. And again, apologies if I'm getting some of these words mixed up. It's late, I'm tired. And it's been a while too. He put in a little bit of work there, but I don't know if his character, well, he stands out a little bit more in Japard as far as character goes. But I probably do like Bailu more than him, so he can sit wedged in between the two of them. These two are besties. They can sit right beside each other in C tier. No, I can't really say I remember a whole lot about either of their characters. Like Asta's, you know, kind of running the space station for Herta, right? She's kind of giving everybody the orders and whatnot. But I can't say I remember doing anything like super relevant with either of these characters. Like for the life of me, I can't even remember his name right now. He's probably the first person on this list whose name I actually just can't remember right now. Oh God. Nah, I can't do it. I can't remember it. I can't remember his name. I can't. I don't know what to tell y'all. God, it's gonna hit me at some point, and I'm gonna feel. I'm not gonna feel bad. I can't even remember your name now. Now this one's gonna be another like. I feel another hot take, but Don Hung, that's my boy right there. All right. Now I know what y'all thinking. He's very lukewarm. He's like milk tea for most of the game. But I'm telling you, I got to the new content and something, I don't remember what right now, but something he did or said, something he had my back on. No, I remember now. I remember. First off, right? And again, spoilers, I can't stress this enough. If you haven't played like the latest content, like the new patch stuff that came out, click off or at least skip ahead a little bit. This man pulled me out of a burning train to safety before he blacked out. That's my boy. He saved my life. He literally saved my life. On top of that, after we get interrogated on something like really wild and stupid and outrageous, he's got my back. He's right there being ignorant with me. I need that kind of support. I need that ignorance on my side, is what I'm thinking. Frankly, I live for that kind of ignorance. So to have him on my side is crazy business. We needed him, and I really appreciate that. Before this, he probably would have been C tier. I'm just being honest. He probably would have been C tier. But that's my boy right there. You alright, Hong? That's just how I feel. You alright, Da Hong? You alright? Okay. Let's see. Alright, took a small break. Herta. This is one of the few that I'm actually gonna like distinguish between like the Herta we meet through the puppets and the Herta, who I think is still later on this list. If not, I'll go back and change it. She's just somebody that's been telling me to do stuff. I'm not gonna lie, I've very forgettable as far as I'm concerned. Like and it's been a minute since I played like the Herta Space Station stuff. That's also part of the reason why these three in particular are so far down, but like she just told me to do stuff. Got me in the simulated universe world, and that's pretty much it. Like, she didn't care about me, I didn't care about her. She could just chill out at the bottom of the sea, and that's pretty much it. Honestly, Hook can go above them, but not above anybody else. Why? Because I do remember Hook's quest between her and her dad trying to get gifts for each other, and it was a very sweet moment. It was very cute, but that's it. Like, Hook leads this little group of what would otherwise just be annoying kids, and that's pretty much it. I got nothing against Hook and the moles. They look like they have their own little fun times or whatever, but I'm probably not hanging out with them, alright? Like, they can chill out in C tier. I know I said B tier. I thought B tier was going to get bloated, but honestly, C tier is taking the lead here. Who's definitely not in C tier? My girl, March. Alright, now look. This is where you can see the divide in the crew here. March gets to go up here with the goats. Why? Because March actually is a little entertaining. Why? Because I can bully March, and March will get bullied by me, or occasionally clap back. She feels a little more, I guess, grounded than like Paimon from Genshin. And there's actual room for her character to kind of like grow and flourish. Like during the war dance, for instance, she had no business becoming a Swords Master, but she took that seriously. And that was a fun little side thing to do with March, to see different aspects of her character. Even going and doing one of her side quests, trying to explore vestiges of her past and trying to dig through her memory, seeing the way she perceived like other people, characters. I felt like that did a lot for her character for me. So yeah, maybe she's a little chatty, maybe she's a little annoying here and there, but I feel like the game is much better with her in it and having this like mystery behind her character of what she is, where she came from. I feel like that makes the story like so much better having her there in these moments. Like I don't think I've ever really like been in a scene with March and just like, oh my god, March, shut up. I can't say it. I don't really know that I have, right? Like I don't have anything against her. Not really, anyway. So March can hang out in A tier with my boy Da Hong, the homies. That's the squads right there. My boys, if you will. Natasha. Natasha's a little bit better than the guys in C tier. I don't know if I put her really up here in B tier. Maybe I'd make like a C plus tier that I could put her in. Because Natasha's kind of like Bronny, doing what she can, but she's kind of on a, I guess, a smaller scale. Let me see if I know how to work this. And this can be C plus. Oh. Well, I don't want to change B. I just want to change this one. Yeah, you know what? You can be the first in C plus tier. There you go. Not quite up here with these guys, but not quite down there with them. Because I feel like she's got a lot of the same kind of deal going on. Again, I was saying kind of like Bronya, in the sense that she's got a lot of responsibility on her, and there's a lot of people that look to her for guidance and whatnot, and she's responsible about it, right? Like she gives them. I mean, she's actually a doctor in the underworld or underground or whatever they call it. Again, it's been a while. Leave me alone. And she's Alright, enough said. Enough said about that. Pella. Pella's fun. I actually use her on my team for the most part. She's one of the 4 founding fathers of the Kuzo Games team. So I might be a little more biased. She can sit in C+. I'm working on helping her build a museum or whatever. She's clearly very forward-facing while also trying to preserve what they can about Belobog's past for future generations. And that alone is far more interesting than anything like Japard's got going on. So, yeah, she can be a C+. This little goober, whose name I can't remember. I can't remember her name, but she's still like... If I could remember your name to save my life, you could be in B tier, but you're not. She is probably the closest thing to what I would be doing if I did get, like, isekai'd into Star Rail. Every time I'm talking to her, she's, like, skipping work and playing some game. And half the time she's invited me to play with her. She's, like, always playing hooky whenever I see her. So I'm like, yeah, no, I'm, over here playing, like, Starjade. I mean, about to get back to work. Yeah. She's got a funny bit. It's not enough to get her up in the B tier with all of the you know, like where we start distinguishing the who's to the, yeah, those are squad. Because again, I don't know her name. If I knew her name, she could be in B tier, but I don't. So she's down there. And then we get introduced to my man Sampo Koski. Make way, fellas. Bronya, Trailblazer, that's Sampo Koski right there. Do I even need to talk about the man Sampo? The Sampo? Look, bro. Sampo, I know what y'all thinking, right? He's a rat. He's a crook. He's a salesman. That's my homie Sampo K. Sampo. That's Sampo Koski right there. Of course he is. He knows what he is. He's just trying to gaslight you, and you know what? I can't hate a hustler. My man is trying to make his money. He's about that paper, you know what I'm saying? And you know what makes him even better? Later, and again, spoilers. Later in Penacony, we find out that he was a masked fool. Like, actively running around with the elation. And to me, that's crazy. What if we end up in a world where we get Emanator Sampo? Bro, Emanator Sampo would go crazy. It's all fun and games until we get, like, 5-star Sampo Koski. I'm telling y'all, bro, just wait. Like, that's gonna be peak. 2026, Emanator Sampo. I'm calling it now. Because that will be peak comedy. That'll be peak Star Rail right there. But right now, we just got, like, our humble salesman that only wants to help people. The customer is king. That's our Sampo. You can't get a better, like, side man than that. He's the guy. That's the boy right there. I would not trust him with my credits. So he's sitting in B. I can't move him up to A tier, but that's my boy Sampo. Oh, they're gonna beat me up. Alright, God, I knew your name. Serval. That's Serval. Serval is Japard's sister. And you know what? Serval can sit up here with Pella. I say that because Serval had an interesting little quest line where she was talking about joining up with the... God, I'm so tired. I can't think of anything right now. Astral Express. I don't know why I was blanking on the name of the train so hard. But she was thinking about joining up with the Astral Express. She was like all geared up and ready to go, and Japard had to kind of like ground her down, like, hey, why don't we, take a walk first before you go? I'm not saying you can't, but like, let's, one more tour around the block before you go. Hitting her with some of that homesickness. But the long and short of it is she had this really interesting quest line where she was essentially confronting like the ghost of her friend Cacolia, and it reflecting on their past together. And that was kind of a cool quest thing. I don't remember the ins and outs of it too much, but it was pretty cool. I thought it was really, really neat. So you know what? She can sit in C+. This girl is a Twitch streamer. That's it. She's a Twitch streamer. I don't think that makes her better than Biley though. Hold on. Yeah, no, she's like a Twitch streamer and a clout chaser, and that's all I got. Like, I don't really know anything else about her character. She kind of pops up in some of the ghost hunting missions or whatever, but like, I don't know, her character bit's just not funny enough. That, or she doesn't have enough of my bias. Again, I don't know her name. If I don't know your name, that's automatically points against you. I recognize your face and your bit, but I don't know your name. Ting Yoon. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I was just trying to get through some of the Lao Fu stuff. So a lot of the Lao Fu just kind of flies over my head. I never really saw Ting Yoon as this like super important character. I'm not gonna lie. Like, when you know what happens and we find out about Ting Yoon, I wouldn't say I was quite as like moved or shook as everybody else. Like, in universe, I guess it makes sense for some of her friends like Yukong to be like, oh my god, Ting Yoon. But I didn't feel it. I was just like, okay. Where did Ting Yoon start and stop? Like, did I ever actually know who she was? For me, it was more like, who cares? Whatever. Again, I'm not going to put the Trailblazers up here 100 times. Sele, she can go up here with Bronya. Why not? She's kind of like Bronya's shadow in a sense, like her opposite. Sele was a woman of action. She was like the vigilante, like, I'm finna run the streets and like beat the brakes off of these people. You know what? I was there for the ignorance. I was like, yeah, you know what? Let's do it. Where Bronya was like the shield, Sele was the sword. And frankly, I like swords. I don't know what to say. I like swords. I picked up Pokemon Shield to be a contrarian, but I do like swords. I do like Sele. She's pretty funny. Well, I'm gonna say funny. I never actually got a hold of her character, and I still don't. I don't know that I'm like rushing to do a Sele rerun. Actually, yeah, I think I gotta break them up. Sorry, girls. Maybe next time. The man Jing Yuan. He can sit up here in A tier. That man commands the Lofu, bro. Have y'all seen his card art? He sits with a lion. My guy has a kaiju. I don't know the specifics of how he got it, but my guy has a kaiju. He's like the OG summon master. And I'm pretty sure he's voiced by the homie Sayu. Me and him, we go way back. He just don't know it. It's a one-way connection. But look at him. Just look at him, bro. You telling me he doesn't radiate aura? Commander of the Laofu, y'all. Like, why are we? Do I even need to? Do I have to put the glob on him? I can't believe I said that on my video. Oh, nobody take that out of context. All right, moving on. Silverwolf. I mean, she's all right. I feel like I would want to beat up Silverwolf. Like, we could game, right? But I feel like Silverwolf would hack my stuff, and I would have to put a hit out. And she would just spend like the next hour trolling me before she got bored and went and did something else. Well, I'm still mad. Like, and that's the part that would like upset me the most. I would be seething. and she would be like, wow, that was fun anyway, and then she'd get over it and go do something else while I'm still seething. The most enjoyable like moment with her was when I got to watch Screw'em like screw her over very briefly before she ended up getting what she wanted anyway. To my understanding, she's a newer member of the Stellar Hunters. I don't really know a whole lot about her motivations per se. If they were ever addressed, I forgot about them. Again, it's been a minute. Last time I really saw her do anything was her to space station. Haven't seen a whole lot of her since. If she pops up again, you know, recently or soon, then maybe my opinions will change. But, I mean, she's a gamer and a hacker, so that's cool. Those are points in her favor. It's the only thing keeping her out of C tier right now. Locha. I'm not gonna lie to you, Locha and you know, we might as well talk about her too. I think they have some kind of like quest line or whatever together. Whatever it is, I missed it completely. She looks like she would be cool, like she's like maybe Acheron before Acheron. And I think he had something to do, like he was carrying around a coffin or something. I never found out like where that was going. So honestly, I might have to make a separate tier for them to just be like the Who tier. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Oh, brother, oh no. Wait, why is D tier up here now? Okay. I had to, what? Okay, there we go. Alright, yeah, there we go. Oh my god, I can't even type. There we go, the Who tier, because I just genuinely don't know. Oh my god, why can't I do anything right? Yeah. Y'all can be in the Who tier, because frankly, I just don't know who y'all are. Like, I don't. I'm sorry. I have no idea who y'all are. It is what it is. Like, if there's some crazy reveal about your character, I think she was maybe in charge of the Lofu before Jing Yuan. Like, she trained him. But that's like secondhand information. I can't use that. Yukong. Yukong's cool. I wouldn't say she's cooler than anybody like up in this tier, but Yukong's cool. She had an interesting quest line about her dead friend and her daughter, who turns out to be her dead friend's daughter. And it was a kind of a heartwarming story, but I can't say that Yukong has left any like noticeable impression or has carried any real weight through the story, or even looks as cool as anybody up here. So Yukong is, I'm afraid, it's just gonna have to chill at C+. Honest to God, like, y'all are gonna be mad at me. Y'all are gonna be mad at me. Alright, you know what? I think that's an appropriate spot. I don't know what to tell y'all. I don't remember a lot about Blade. I don't know if enough was even really, like, said about him. At least for me. Again, it's been a minute. I'm not, like, super deep into Star Rail's lore. I don't know, like... All I really remember off the top of my head is he's beefing with Don Hong about something he did, like, when he was still... like, his past life. I don't know what the connection is. I don't know what his beef with him is. He might have like some crazy awesome lore reveal later down the line, but right now I just don't care. He's just a hater. But he's not even like a cool hater, you know? He's not even... Like, if this man was like cartoonishly like chasing Don Hong, or he was like, oh, I can chase you to the ends of the earth, then I'd be like, yeah, you know, like, let's get him. Like, alright, I could get behind him, but he's so, I guess, mellow that I don't really feel it. I don't really feel it. Like, he's done even less than like Silverwolf has, as far as do I care about him. To the sense that with him, I'm like, I had to help break this bozo out of jail for like. And then we get to the problem child, Kafka. I don't know how I feel about Kafka. Like, I really don't. Like, out of all the Stellaron hunters, I feel like Kafka probably has the most sauce. I'm not gonna lie. In terms of what she's done, like in the story, what she means to the protagonist, Kafka is probably like the A tier like Stellaron hunter. Like, if I had to put any of the Stellaron hunters in A, it would be Kafka. Here's my problem, right? Kafka is such a nihilist, bro, and I hate it. It's like the few interactions I can remember with Kafka are always just so like depressing. It's always so depressing. Like, at least when I did her side story, I think the best way I can put it is Kafka is so cool until I have to listen to her. And I don't want that to sound, don't take that the wrong way, but like, when everything you say is destiny this, like, our choices mean nothing that, you're all following a script this, etc., etc., it's like, bro, will you shut up? Could we just, I don't know, talk about the weather? Or watch paint dry? Like, could you just not? It's just so, like, soul draining. I'm just like, why are you like this? Like, can we just... So I'm very undecided on Kafka. I don't know if she's like goated, like great, fantastic, or if she's just like down here for me, because it's just like, bro, if you don't get away from me. Now, the mystery surrounding her and the protagonist, I feel, is definitely points in her favor, because I feel just as conflicted as like I feel the protagonist should, right? Because Kafka is very... She, at least when she's talking with others, she's got this kind of like... This like playful... You know, like mastermind kind of like demeanor. Like, oh wow, like, you're really having fun over there, aren't you? Yeah, you think you've got so much control in this situation, etc., etc. But there are brief moments where you feel like you can see like someone like the real Kafka, like she shows like real concern for Blade or whatever, right? Before she goes back to like teasing you. And there's points where I'm like, she's so nice to me. She's so nice to me, and characters that are nice to me get bonus points, right? It's probably the only reason Himiko's in B and not in like C, that she's nice to me. Clearly, she cares about what happens to Kailis and Stell. Again, I'm so sorry if I'm butchering his name. Kalis? I think it's Kalis. The Trailblazer. She cares to some like degree about what happens to them, right? That's why she, I don't know, reincarnates / implants the Stellaron in them in the first place. However, when she's acting like a nihilist, I can't help but be mean to her. I can't help but want to be mean to her. She brings out my inner demons. I'm just like, shut up, you're a bad person. And that's something I kind of have to, I guess, get over with the Stellaron hunters, in the sense that I look at them the same way I looked at like the Fatui and Kenshin. It's like, oh, okay, those are our bad guys. They're like the villains. And in most cases, they are, right? Like, Kafka's probably stolen some stuff. Definitely, now I think about it, like, what all went down on the space station. Silverwolf is a hacker, and Blade is out for revenge. He just straight up wants to kill Dong Hung. And when these are the only Stellaron hunters we really have, can you really blame me for thinking they're like the villains of Star Rail? So seeing this villain like acting all like sly and coy in front of me, I'm just like, well, I'm gonna beat your head in with this bat, so help me God. It's just how I feel. And you know, maybe she doesn't deserve like all that hostility, but at the same time, I don't know, she's like so annoying. Tell you what I'll do. I'll make a row above B and below A, and we'll call it undecided. Because I don't know if Kafka is like one of my favorite characters or if I hate her. And not knowing is killing me. And I hate these stupid ads. Because it's getting in the way of me tier list. And I don't want to scroll, because when I do, it ruins my... Alright, well I can do a little scroll up and down. Luca. Honestly, I don't know that I care about Luca all that much. I haven't really finished his like plot lines or whatever, so Luca's kind of in limbo with me. You know what? Hold on. Luca can at least get C+. Why? Because in the Luminary War Dance, when the enemies transform or whatever, there's this funny bit where Luca's like, wait, did nobody see that? Like for instance, there's a spot where we're supposed to fight Topaz, and he's like, wait, no, she definitely just transformed into something. Did nobody else see that? And everybody's like, bro, what are you talking about? Are you okay? Like, did you get hit in the head? And that like fourth wall awareness is actually kind of funny to me, because he's like actually freaking out by like the third time it happens. Again, I haven't finished that particular quest, so I don't know how that like wraps up. But that's so funny to me. He's like losing his mind, and everybody else is like, bro, what are you talking about? It's like such a fantastic gaslight. Let's see. I'm planning on counting you the same as Don Hung, so you can stay there. I do remember doing some stuff with the fortune teller lady, but honestly, yeah, you're about right there for me. Because I don't really care. Like, nothing she's really done or said is really like stuck with me, you know. She's alright, but that's pretty much it. Lynx, I haven't really done a whole lot with Lynx's quest line. Lynx can go down there. You know what, Lynx can go with her brother. There you go. Topaz. Topaz is another character that I would say is undecided for me, because Topaz has a very, I guess, rocky introduction, right? Topaz is a member of the IPC, and IPC is essentially like the mega corporation that is running and circulating currency all throughout the universe. And Topaz is, I would say, like a rare case in the IPC where her world or whatever was saved by them because they were like starving, poor, whatever. I don't remember the details, but they weren't doing great, and then IPC came along and made everything better. It cost them like their freedom and their like autonomy, but that security and that like financial buff they got kind of like saved her people or whatever. So I could see why she joined the IPC and why she'd want to like be able to do that for other worlds. She's got a pretty solid like motivation. However, I don't like the IPC, and you shouldn't either, because what they do to Belobog is absolutely atrocious. What they try to do anyway. The situation she forces Bronya in makes me want to put her down here, because that is villainous, absolutely evil. And if you know, you know. If you don't know, we'll be glad you don't know. But what she does is absolutely like, it's evil. It's straight up evil. And she doesn't particularly feel like good about it or whatever, but she's still doing it. Oh my god. That being said, right, Topaz works to find a middle ground with us, right? We offer, you know, like this counter proposal, like, hey, you know, we can make this work in a way that benefits both people, both sides, without having to sacrifice Belobog's freedom or go into war with like the IPC over this, you know, debt. And I really respect it. I really respect the hell out of that. because I'm pretty sure she catches a demotion for the way she handles Bellabog, which is again like a pure like net loss on her behalf, right? For the sake of the people at Bellabog, and I respect that a lot. So Topaz, as far as I'm concerned, she's all right in my books. However, she claims that if it came to blows, right, she would have won. Like, it would have been no contest. And the ignorance in me screams, run them hands. So if I get the chance to run them hands with Topaz, bro, you know I'm taking it. Because, like, two ignorant people can't get along. Like, if you're ignorant and I'm ignorant, one of us gotta go down a peg. We can't both be ignorant, is the idea. So, yeah, you know what? She's all right there. I don't know who this is. And it becomes more apparent because she is the streamer one. I'm pretty sure she's the streamer. Meaning I have absolutely no idea who this is. I think she's the one I have to help out on Arm Alley, now that I think about it. I don't know either of their names. I think she's Gwenfin or something like that. No idea who this is. That being said, they can both stay in C tier. Laofu introduced me to so many characters, most of which I can't even remember. Hua Hua. She's alright. I like Hua Hua. I think that's how you pronounce it. I haven't finished her ghostly adventures yet. I'm pretty sure she gets her little buddy back. I'm working on it, alright? Leave me alone. But Hua Hua's pretty alright. I don't hate her. She's like a little sister character. Somebody that you kind of like look out for her. You want to keep an eye on, make sure she's doing alright, you know, check up on her. Kind of in the same vein as Clara. Yeah. I think that's a pretty good comparison. She's in the like same vein as Clara, at least for me. Honestly, I don't even remember why I have Clara up this high. I don't know. Clara's fun. My sister showed me this meme, and I think it's why I keep going back to it. But it's like, Clara will go like, "Mr. Svarog, creases Jordans," and Svarog will go creasing Jordans, and that's so funny to me for some reason. Oh, okay. Hua Hua can be... Yeah, Hua Hua's right there. And now we get to go back to ignorance. Look at my boy. Y'all may not know who this is, but that is a Knight of Beauty right there. Immaculate. Fantastic. Can't remember his name right now, because, again, I'm tired. I keep thinking Aventurine, because I know it starts with an A, but it's not that. God, I can't remember his name right now. Alright, buddy, you gotta go back down to B tier since I can't remember your name. But his music, the theme that plays when you fight him is so like... It's so magnifique. It's like, oh, that's like just right. And that fight's pretty fun too, I'm not gonna lie to you. He actually handed me one of my like only L's across this game. And I respect it. I don't know what he's doing though. Like, he's a Knight of Beauty, he follows like the beauty god and is like singing there. He's like the chivalrous knight archetype, but like cranked up to the most. Like, he's like, I'm trying to think of the comparison here. He's he reminds me almost of James from Pokemon in his like demeanor and how he acts. But if he was also like actually him. But I can't remember his name right now. So he clearly hasn't done enough for me if I can't remember his name. That being said, I don't really remember her name either. And since I can't really put her above C. I know she's like a guard dog over like the underworld or whatever. Kind of like the prison in the Laofu. Right here next to her sister, who I guess is a puppet. I don't know, I didn't do her recruitment quest because I already had her character. But I'm pretty sure they're like judges of like the prisoner community. Oh god, hold on. Anyway, like I was saying, the sisters, I don't know a whole lot about them. I'm pretty sure they're sisters, that's about it. She looks kind of cool, she looks pretty whatever, but that's pretty much it. Like, I don't think they really did a whole lot to stop like the incident that happened with the war dance. She kind of died, but not really. And yeah, that's about all I got to say on their characters. Now, hot take, Rame can sit at the bottom. All right. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe she doesn't really deserve to be D tier, right? Honestly, I don't think really anybody in this game deserves to be like D tier. But if anybody's taking that spot, it's Rame. And here's why, right? I don't know who she is. She's apparently a genius or something, right? Like a friend of hers. She offers, I meet her, she's like, hey, you know, how you doing? You want some tea? You want some cake? I'm like, yeah, you know what? Sure, I'll partake. My other option is being incredibly rude and saying no. And this is the one time I'm like, yeah, you know what? Let me not be a butthead. That would be a really bad first impression, right? She drugs me. She drugs me. She drugs me in our first meeting. I don't even know who you are. She drugged me. She put drugs in my cake or my tea or whatever. I don't remember specifically. And forces me to not say anything about her. Like, I can't spill any secrets about her. These are red flags, people. These are red flags. If you meet a girl or a person who drugs you in your first encounter with them, they are not a good person. They are not the kind of person you should be hanging around. Alright, let me just make that abundantly clear. I don't care if she's beautiful or if she's intelligent or if she's rich or whatever. If they do this to you, they are not a good person. It's a very cut and dry, like, clear case. Case number 2. She goes around trying to create life in these obstacles, objects, and she actually creates this little mini race of, like, cake monsters or whatever, squishmallows. Realizes that they're not quite what she was looking for, and she abandons them. She leaves you with the kids, and occasionally asks about them. Asks how their little society is going. Because they have a society, you have to build it by making more of them, which is a little messed up on your part. But there is sentient life that was created by her hand, left to roam the space station, and she doesn't care. She cares a little bit. Admittedly, she does care enough to, like, look at a picture. But all they want is for her to come and visit them, and she won't. She's in D tier. I don't care. Fight me. I don't care. Tell me I'm wrong in the comment section. Please do. Comment down below why I'm wrong. Write me a 50-page essay. Mallah format. What do you mean you don't want to do Mallah? No APA. This ain't college. This guy. This one is another Chad. Another goated one. Now, I won't lie, and this is a slight spoiler to further the tier list, but part of the reason he's up here so high is because I don't like Aventurine. And he and Aventurine have a very tense relationship, I'll say. The other part is because of that name. Dr. Ratio is so funny to me, because it came out during a time where I was very caught up on the L plus ratio meme. And it might not be as funny anymore right now, but it was to me. For there to be this, like, tactical genius, this, like, super smart guy with the L plus ratio, and one of his moves is he's doing, like, he, like, actually makes an L with his hand, making the angles. And he, like, religiously dislikes stupid people, I'll say. Which is usually not, like, a good character trait to have, but it was funny. It was funny. I won't forget when, again, spoiler warning, when, the Pentaconi, like, dream sequence happens or whatever, where you think you beat the final guy but didn't. One of the things that tipped me off is he was like, yeah, I guess I think you non-geniuses are actually alright. I was like, wait, nah, he would never say that. That's not my doctoration. He would never. He would die before he gave, like, non-geniuses credit for anything. That's so funny to me. It's not that he's contributed anything, like, crazy to the story, but that's so funny to me. Alright. Black Swan. Alright, well, I like her too much to put her in C+. She's, again, a little biased here. She's one of the founding fathers of the Kuzo games team. She's like my sub DPS. The Acheron setup. She dances with Acheron, actually. It's really great. I don't remember seeing it though. And you know what? Black Swan plays a very strange role for me in the sense that she's our guide for a good bit, right? Helping us along. Also ends up luring me into a meeting with a Ventrian, who I don't like. So that's a point against her, right? It's part of what's keeping her out of A. But Black Swan's cool. As of right now, she's still one of the cool memo keepers in the sense that she's not an ob, right? She did like one or two kind of suspicious, shady things, but ultimately she helps me. As a matter of fact, she's the biggest reason I actually managed to get out of the genjutsu I'm trapped in, so that we can actually save Penacony. That's a big point in her favor. So you know what? I take it back. Black Swan, you can hang up here with Sampo Katsuki. You actually replaced Sampo on my team, so it's pretty fitting. There you go. Hold your crown, Queen. You can stand up there with Acheron. You're not her, but you can stand up there. And then there's Sparkle. And honest to God, I want to put Sparkle right down there at the bottom. And it's because I find Sparkle so annoying. I have a friend who really likes Sparkle, and if they see this, they're gonna be really like disappointed in me. But Sparkle is so like, and you know, the part that bothers me is I feel like that's kind of the point. Sparkle being annoying is, me finding Sparkle annoying is a win for Sparkle, because that's what Sparkle is trying to do. Sparkle is trying to get under my skin, and she does. She wins. If she gets under my skin, she wins, and that's why I hate it. Her being annoying is the point of her character, and it works. She's a masked fool. So I'm really the clown for being like riled up at Sparkle. That aside, I'm pretty sure everybody in Penacony kind of like played a part, right? But she didn't really help me, I feel like, as a trailblazer, do a whole lot. She kind of just trolled me once or twice that I remember. And she helped the Ventrian out on his side a little bit. But Sparkle, as far as like the Penacony cast goes, was kind of on the back pedal, right? To be this like theatrical character, like the masked fool or whatever, she was really kind of a sideshow. Like, she didn't, like, when you look at Penacony, like the grand scheme of things, what all did she really do aside from the big like finale? And I'll give her points for the finale, right? Like, she kind of had us going. Frankly, I would like to see the alternate ending where we call Sparkle's bluff, and then she actually does blow up the ship with 1,000 bombs. Now, if that had happened, if that was an option, that would have been hilarious. If I choose to ignore the Sparkle bombs or whatever, and they actually detonate and kill us all, that would be hilarious. That's what I would have. If that was actually an ending, Sparkle would easily be an A, if not an S tier. But that didn't happen. So the best I'm doing is C+. That's the best I'm doing. The best she does for me is become like the Sampo hype man. When Sampo like agrees to help her pull off a stunt and try to pull a fast one on Black Swan. So that's why best I can give her C+. I hope you're happy, because I almost made an undecided tier for her to put between like C and C+. Now I'm pretty sure Misha's story kind of like, it really just confused me. I think I was at the point in Penacony where I was just ready to be done with it. I don't even know that Misha was real, for like, if I'm being honest. He was like friends with Mickey Mouse Clocky, and that's about all I can remember about Misha. I'm not gonna lie to you. So Misha, you're right at home in C tier. Make way for the goated one. Pick up your crown, Queen. Acheron, right as soon as I saw her, Acheron was probably part of the reason why I picked Starro back up. I'm not even gonna lie. I know what you're saying, this is like heavy glaze. She deserves all of it. For being a character that actually has like no impact on the story, like not a part of the script or anything, she's just too goated. Look at her. Acheron's lore goes so crazy. When you consider what her actual name means and what that, like, how that could connect to the greater, like, Honkai verse or whatever. I haven't even played the old Honkais. Her reveal, if I had played, like, Third Impact or whatever, would probably have me doing backflips in my room. I can't even do a backflip. The voice lines, the voice acting, the way she shows up, and she's like, have we met before? That in context would be so crazy had I played, like, Third Impact before. Or whatever, I don't really know, alright? Relax. That, like, have we met before line would hit so much crazier if I'd actually played a game with her, like, in it before. Like, that's crazy. That's like seeing Sans in Deltarune and him being like, hey, what's up, pal? How you doing? Considering we've never met before, this is a weird thing for you to say, you know? Not to mention what she does in the verse. Being like the emanator of nihility. You know how crazy that is? For, like, the god of nothingness, like, personified, like, not wanting to do anything. The whole, like, nothing matters, everything is pointless. For somebody with, like, that embodies that principle, to actually take an interest in you is crazy. Like, do you understand that, like, directly contradicts, like, its existence? For, like, nothing to matter, everything's gonna, you know, become part of me one day anyway. For it to actually, like, do a double take on somebody, or even look like it in the first place, is actually crazy. Like, realistically, there should not be an emanator of nihility, period. Like, it goes against the nature of what you would expect nihility to be. And then she cut the sky open. Acheron was the first 5-star character I really built up like that. I kind of did with Bailu again, but I didn't really know what I was doing with the game at first, so Bailu didn't really count. Acheron was the first one. That old skill, when I learned how to use it, that domain expansion she opens up, I weep for the departed. I don't know what to say, bro. Acheron is peak. If you disagree, then shut up. Go somewhere. Whatever. I don't care. Go somewhere. My channel. My tier list. I don't care. Oh my god, you can't even see her. I said all of this so you can't even see her up there. But yeah, no, Acheron goes up in A tier, where she belongs. Right up there with the ghosts. The immaculate ones. Honestly, the more I look at A tier, I feel like I need to bring these two down a tier. Bring them into, like, B+. Because, like, what are they doing surrounded by these guys? Alright. We'll make, I'll make this one B+. My tier list is getting too big. It's gonna be hard to capture all of this on the screen. Oh, brother. Can you even see all of this anymore? No. Well, kinda. I still have to scroll to, Aventurine. Honestly, I want to put Aventurine in D tier, but some recent news came to me. And I was talking with a friend earlier today about Star Ocean stuff. A coworker. If he hears me call him friend, he might get a big head over it. But he kind of put some stuff into perspective for me about Aventurine, and it kind of softened my hate for him. But Aventurine he's like the con man that Sampo is, but he's lucky. Lucky and unlucky, right? Like his life is a very tragic one. But because he was blessed by, like, their luck god or whatever, born under their lucky star, he's managed to win all his gambles and keep climbing up through the ranks. And I just want to push him down some stairs. Like, I hate him. I think it's how smug he is. Like, how confident he is in his gamble that makes me want to push him down some stairs. But apparently he dislikes the IPC probably more than I do, despite, you know, working for them. And if that's true, maybe he's alright. Maybe he's not so bad after all. Maybe he and I could even be friends. But every time he said anything in a verse, I just wanted to be mean to him. And I know, again, he had a very sad, very troubling backstory. But bro, he's like playing us all. I hate being like toyed with. And like that's like my biggest peeve. So he can hang out in C tier right now, next to, you know, Ting Yu. My homie Gallagher. Now, putting Gallagher up this high is pure glazing based off of like how much he carries my team. I will admit this is probably the one instance where like gameplay is pretty much the only reason I'm putting him up here. As far as like story relevance and stuff goes, he kind of matters in terms of like Penacony. But he's really only up here because he kind of like carries my team healing wise. Like that's it. Robin's kind of cool. I don't really have her character unlocked or anything like that. She's the voice of the Harmony, so I wouldn't really say she's like an emanator. I don't think she really counts like that anyway. But, you know, her story is pretty cool. Like, it's pretty solid. I kind of got lost somewhere in there with her, like, death and not dying. I'm pretty sure her death was just seeing, like, the other side of Penacony or whatever, and she's got this terrible, like, kind of turmoil with her brother that, unfortunately, I didn't get to hear voice acted because of, you know, some stuff going on. Not throwing any shade on the voice actors or anything like that. But, I mean, Robin's cool. She can... No reason she has to sit down there with Sparkle. Sparkle's gonna like crease her shoes or something. So she can hang out in B tier. She's okay. I don't hate her, but I don't really like love her, you know. Boot Hill. The homie Boot Hill. Yeah, you know what? B plus seems good for Boot Hill. I could maybe even be pressed to put him in A tier. But Boot Hill has such a fire like introduction. Like Boot Hill is here chasing out Akron because Boot Hill knows Akron is a fraud. Like Boot Hill's like, nah, like Akron is not a galaxy. Is not a galaxy ranger. I don't know where they got this like title, this idea, whatever. Akron ain't her, and I'm here to put her. I'm here to like bring down some justice. Except Boot Hill is such a dork. And I say dork like lovingly. Also, he's got a gun, and having a gun in this game like puts you up so high for me. Again, all like character release or whatever, I didn't care about them like too much, like just looking at like the trailer and stuff. But when you meet these characters like in game, like learn more about like who they are and stuff, that either carries them up so high or it brings them down so low for me, because character moments are so peak. Especially he has this moment when Rappa is introduced or whatever, where you see like his mind essentially gets regressed to that of like a little kid, and they try to take advantage of that, and he shoots them. And it's like, yeah, even little kid Boot Hill is like, yeah, man, like I've never fired a gun before in my life, but I would still know to shoot this gun at you because you are straight evil. And that is so like peak to me. That's so peak Boot Hill for me. I'm like, oh my god, he's him. The Boot Hill reruns are around the corner, and I'm thinking about it. I don't really have anything for his like team or kit, not to my knowledge, but I'm really thinking about it because Boot Hill is actually him. Like, I like Boot Hill. I don't know what to say. He's actually that guy as far as I'm concerned. And again, I gotta work on scrolling up and down on here. I keep forgetting how much I actually have to do. Okay. Took a small break. Tried to, oh my god. Let's see. Who's next? Another controversial one. Firefly. I don't know that I like Firefly quite as much as them. So Firefly can sit up in B. And I think Firefly can sit up in B because Firefly is a strange example of a character that the game is clearly trying to endear you towards. Like, they want you to like Firefly. And for me, at least compared to a bunch of other characters like on this list, it kind of works, right? Like, I don't really have this kind of I guess like awkward stance with as I do with Kafka. The roughest part is initially finding out that Firefly is a Stellaron hunter through her like persona of Sam, and that does kind of hurt her a little bit. Is in my eyes, like, bro, you spent all this time like running around in circles with me, like goofing off in town, taking pictures and stuff, and you never once thought maybe I should know that you were like a secret terrorist. But I don't know. Like I don't really hate Firefly or anything like that. To me, I think it's best if I put her over here in the little sister squad, the little sis squad with Ho-Ho and Clara. Yeah. But then I have to look on the other side of that, and there's Sam, who's built like an absolute unit, deep voice. That was a fight I actually had to stop and like power up my team for, because we got cooked the first time and probably the second time, and I just didn't know what I was supposed to do. I was like, this is crazy. But I put her so far above the others because, one, she has a little bit more plot relevance than they do in the overall arc of Penacony, right? Firefly dying really kind of like bums out the Trailblazer and kind of also like inspires them to figure out like, wait, what actually is going down in Penacony, whereas like Blade, Kafka, and even Silverwolf don't really have like they don't really have that same drive to them, even though admittedly hers is used a little bit differently than those cases, right? What else can I really say about Firefly? Yeah, I mean, again, like, the game is clearly trying to endear you to her character. You've got like all these, sweet moments with her and stuff, but I don't really mind it. Like, it doesn't really bother me all that much. Again, I kind of have to squint my eyes a little bit, because like, she's still a Stellaron hunter at the end of the day, and I'm like, hey, like, you don't try nothing stupid. But she generally feels like the kind of character that I could say, hey, don't try anything stupid, and she'd be like, I would never, and mean I would never, where Kafka would go, I would never, and then like pull the keys out of your pocket with a string or something, Like, Firefly's a little more honest, and I can appreciate that. Like, I feel like as a Trailblazer, like out here in the cosmos, I could just use a friend. Like an actual, just like somewhat well-adjusted person with a few bodily afflictions, but you know what? A somewhat well-adjusted person. And here is the other person in D tier. I don't know a whole lot about Jade, but what I do know is that she is a snake. A snake, like actually venomous. Don't make deals with this person. She works for the IPC. She is going to hurt you. Heck, she tried to hurt Firefly. Well, to be fair, she wasn't really trying to hurt Firefly. She actively warned her against it in her defense. However, she works for the IPC. We can't be friends. And there's nothing redeeming about her compared to the other two, aside from the fact that she warns Firefly. She will actively like sell you a miracle and then take something else from you that will make you just as bad as you were originally, if not worse off. She has, like, from what I can remember, no redeeming qualities, like, at all, actually. She's just a snake. Like, actually just a snake. Cold, hard businesswoman. And I don't know, maybe some of y'all like your dommy mommy types or whatever, but she's not doing it for me. Like, looks can only bring a character so high. Smarts can only bring a character so high. Personality. The way you treat people. Now that kind of thing really matters a lot to me, which is why she's down here with Ron May. It's why she's below Ron May. Because heck, you can argue, right? Like, Ron May maybe cares about like Herta and Screwlum or whatever. She just put such a bad taste in my mouth. And like the sweet little cake monster she abandoned couldn't clear it out. So she's just got to stay down there in D tier. And yeah, Jade can sit right there with her. They can sip tea and talk about brainwashing people together or something. I don't know. I can't for the life of me remember her name. But she can say it right here with her buddy Yang Xing. Because they're besties. If you haven't played their side quest, they absolutely love each other. Can't get enough of each other. They're best friends. Go check it out. How can I say that with a straight face? Now this Joker I feel like was overhyped as hell. I'll say it. They're supposed to be like a really good supporter, really good like nihility unit maybe. I don't really remember. I don't know why they're a 5-star. Like over the course of the Luminary War Dance or whatever, they're supposed to be one of Fei Xiao's like retainers. I have no idea why he's a 5-star. Like, what did bro do? He actually just, from what I remember, he's like a food doctor or whatever, right? Like he and Bailu would get along great. But he kind of gets bodied, poisons his blood to poison somebody else, and then goes blind. And that's it. Like, he doesn't have any, like, special secret healing factor or, like, spatial awareness or any, like, connection with any of the Aeons. He's just a dude. Like, that's it. And maybe somebody else found this character arc, like, really endearing or really, like, touching. That he was, like, he really did, like, almost die. And I'll give him that. But, like, I don't know. He just didn't do it for me. He can hang out in C+. He can hang out with Sparkle. Fei Xiao. Fei Xiao might just be a goated one. I don't know. Nah, wait. I saw Fei Xiao fire that arrow. Fei Xiao's goated. I take it back. I was thinking about it, and then I was like, wait, no. Fei Xiao's actually her. Hold on. What am I talking about? I might just be smoking something because Fei Xiao's actually her. Who am I kidding? Look, I remember there was this whole little cutscene where like everybody's like, "Hey, get down!" Fei Xiao's about to fire an arrow, and we're all like, "Fire an arrow? Why are we tripping?" And then this beam of light shoots across the sky, like blowing up like crowds of people, like disintegrating them, and we're just like, "Oh, Fei Xiao just fired an arrow." That wasn't an arrow, bro. She fired a Kamehameha. And I might be wrong about this, but I think she becomes an emanator by the end of her quest, like, doesn't she? I might be wrong, but I feel like the hunt kind of, like, in her ult at least, you can kind of see it. And again, I might be wrong, but the Luminary War Dance was very cool. Like that, I actually really enjoyed that bit. The bit between, what? Thank God. That so took me out of my immersion. I was over here thinking about the video, like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to do the whole video again. Anyway, long story short, Fei Xiao's an A. Alright, I don't think anybody's really gonna be mad at me about that take. Lingxia... Honestly, Lingxia's kind of right here with him. Except Lingxia's a little higher up because Lingxia is a dragon. I say that because I feel like Lingxia also has a lot of, like, unnecessary hype built up for her with like no payoff. Like she's supposed to be the next like Doctor Supreme or whatever, right? But she doesn't, it doesn't feel like she really does anything in that arc. Like, tell me, what does Lingxia do? I'm pretty sure she helps Dan Heng like rescue Bailu very briefly, but that's it. Like, she doesn't whip up some miracle drug or, like, cure Buddy's blindness with her blood. She's just kind of there. And don't get me wrong, I don't have anything, like, against her character or anything, but her clout is, like, one of the dragons is pretty much the only thing keeping her out of, like, C tier. That's it. Like, that's really actually it. Motsu is, like, dorky Batman. And that's kind of funny to me. So he can go higher up on the list at C+. Like, he will ask you questions like, I'm planning on visiting the Astral Express to run like surveillance. Is it alright if I like sneak in through the window or whatever? It's like, why would you ask me if it's alright? Like, why would you, dog, you could just come through the front door. And he'll be like, really? Y'all don't have no safety precautions? I could come in there and cut your throat in the middle of the night if I wanted to. And it's like, please don't. And he's like, I wouldn't, because that would be work, and I was explicitly ordered to enjoy my day off. It's like, what? He's only, again, he has about as much like plot relevance as these two. I feel like he does a little bit more. Actually, I think he gets beat up now that I think about it. But he's funny, so you know what? He can be in B while the other two kind of hang out down there. Rappa? Bro, Rappa's story? I'm not gonna lie, with the whole like Slumber Nana like build up, I didn't think I was gonna like Rappa as much as I did. I thought it was just gonna be really stupid, but Rappa's story is actually kind of fire. And I don't want you to think A tier is in any particular order, but Rappa's story is actually kind of fire. She's like this weird, like Mewtwo Shadow the Hedgehog type character almost. And you'd have to have played through it to really know what I'm talking about. Because I'm trying to give you like the short version. I thought she was just like, and she's also kind of a dork. Like she's kind of a weeb, if we're being honest. Not derogatory. It's actually a compliment in this case. But like, if you know about Rappa, you know about Rappa. She's a Galaxy Ranger, kind of brought on by Boot Hill. If I kind of got their relationship done correctly, which I might have, I might not have. But the way Rappa's story unfolds is so funny. It's so cool. I could do without some of the rapping bits. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I could. Like, if we had to cut any aspect of her character, it would probably be that one. Like, she would be perfectly fine without all that. But the rest of it, peak. Like, perfect. Like, the way I watched that unfold, I went in with the bar, like, all the way down here. Like, all the way at the bottom. I was like, alright, let's get this, cringe stuff out of the way or whatever. Rappa's kind of goated, I'm not gonna lie. Like, looking at Acheron, I already kind of knew. Like, I could feel the aura from Acheron. Or, like, looking at Welt, you could, like, most of the people up here just radiate aura. After the Slumber Nana, like, bit that I saw, Rappa's aura was all the way into negative. With that progression, that evolution of Cloud, and seeing the way her backstory unraveled, her and like the doctor or whatever, I was like, oh no, she's actually coded. It's kind of crazy that I have so many imaginary characters up here. Like imaginary damage, I mean. When I only have like one or two of them. Oh my god. Sunday. Sunday, you would be in D tier, but your redemption story kind of brings you up for me. You can be the head of C tier. Because Sunday is a very troubling character for me. Because like, obviously, right? He starts off as an antagonist. He brings up the order, and he's trying to bring the world under this like collective. He initiates the Infinite Tsukuyomi. And the Infinite Tsukuyomi bit, like, Genjutsu thing, I feel is so, like, I hate it. It's so lame. Like, I hated it when Genshin did it with, like, the days repeating. And I hated it here where there was, like, the false happy ending, like, type thing. Like, the whole, like, oh, nope, not really. I hate it. Like, I just wanted to punch his face in. But he was doing it for, like, kind of the right reasons, right? He wasn't really, like, a bad guy. He wasn't really evil, per se. More so, misguided, I think is the best word you can put it. So his redemption story kind of, it doesn't feel very forced, right? He was like, because he kind of acknowledged that, like, yeah, okay, I was wrong, right? He said it, like, up front, like, if you guys can beat me or whatever, then I'll acknowledge that, like, maybe I'm wrong. Like, this isn't the way I should go about it. He accepts that he's wrong and starts like actively taking steps to make amends, right? He uses his powers more productively, not to brainwash people, but to help people. And I'm very curious to see where that goes. If his character arc keeps progressing in this like very, what's the word I'm looking for? If he keeps making good strides with his character arc, right? Like, he shows more redeeming qualities using this power that he has to, like, help people. and distance himself from his, past mistakes, or, he sees maybe somebody else thinking the same way that he used to and guides them away from that, I could see his character going up, another peg or two on this list and be like, all right, now Sunday's progression from like villain to hero is like, it's really goated. We're not there yet though. It may or may not happen. So unfortunately, he's just gonna have to stay where he is in C tier. Now, I know what I said about separating like characters here. Like, I could argue this March is different from other March. Or I could argue like this Inhibitor Lune is different from Da Hung. But Fugue and Ting Yun are actually like different as far as I'm concerned. And Fugue can be in B tier. Why? Because I feel like Fugue's story at this point, or Ting Yun, because it's still the same person, feels so like empowering in a way, right? So for you, those of you that don't know, Ting Yun essentially got ravaged by the destruction. Like, she should not have survived, but she did. Ranmei kind of like brought her back, kind of healed her as best she could anyway, right? But the only way it would have worked is if if Ting Yun really still had that like will to live. Like, if she still wanted to live despite like not being able to do things the same way she used to, that was the only way it was going to work. And that story of like coming back from essentially like the brink of death really like resonated with me. Piecing together like all of the Ting Yuns running around to reform Fugue. Again, it was like a real small quest, not a whole lot really happened. But like piecing back together her life, trying to help her like get gifts for all of her like old friends and stuff. Everybody thought she was dead. That was like, it was kind of sweet. I won't lie. It'd be great if we saw her pop up again, like somewhere down the line. I doubt it. I feel like they kind of like wrapped up her story. But you know what? She's alright in my book. I'd hang out with her. V. Herta, I feel like is a more accurate depiction of Herta, right? Like, this can just be puppet Herta. V. Herta radiates so much aura. She's very... So look, right? I know what I said earlier about not liking characters that felt like they knew they were gonna win, right? Like smug characters. I usually don't like smug characters. I want to see them fall on their face. It's part of why Aventuria is so low down here. Herta is smug and she owns it because she knows she's right. She's smart enough to know. She's smart enough to know better, and if she notices something's up, she acts on it. And it's actually shown in her quest. She's like, hey, wait, something's actually not right here. Let me put my super giga massive brain to work here. And she finds the problem. She's like, it doesn't feel... Here's an idea, right? So, by comparison, right, when Silverwolf and Skrullum are kind of going back and forth or whatever, Skrullum's like, yeah, you know what, I'm not actually trying to like play with this kid or whatever, I'm just trying to get you out of my system or whatever. He's a genius, so this works. You would think, yeah, alright, he like outsmarted the hacker girl, but not really, because Silverwolf got what she wanted out of it anyway. I feel like if Silverwolf and Herta had this like interaction or whatever, Silverwolf's getting put on a poster. Because that's just who Herta is. Like, I feel like Herta just has that energy about her. I would put Herta in A tier, actually. V Herta, just because of the energy she radiates. Like, Herta is who I would be if I had that power. Like, the ignorance and the aura of Herta just being like, yeah, I'm better than you. You're interrupting my time. Like, you're on my time, not the other way around, right? I love her. I love her. I love it. If I saw more of this Herta, like, this Herta makes me more interested to see like what Herta's doing and what she's been like up to, what she's so like above all this. She doesn't even care. Like, cause she's over here doing like XYZ stuff and I'm over here doing like my things. She can't be bothered. She's like, hey, have you made any progress with the simulated universe? No? Okay, don't talk to me. And you know what? Like, seeing her in action for once, I felt like brought her from C tier to A tier for me. And that is my Honkai. Alright. Fine, let's talk about it. Aglaya. The only character from Amphorius that's actually on this list right now. If a couple of the other characters were on here, I'd put them up here to show you what I feel about them. Aglaya. There's one moment in all of Star Rail that just, all of Amphorius anyway, that really just drags her character down for me. And this was just very petty. I just want you to know it's just pettiness. I don't really like hate her character nearly as much as like these two, right? If anything, she's probably in like C tier next to Sunday. But I'm putting her down here in D tier because I know there's some people that like I'd put her down in another tier just to spite them. But Aglaya, there's one moment where Aglaya makes you promise something, right? And with all fairness, she has every right to be mad because we knowingly break said promise. But we do it for a good reason, right? Still our fault at the end of the day. But we do it for a good reason. Her response to this is tricking us, trapping us, and then threatening us with death under this like grim interrogation. And frankly, all I wanted to do was punch her in the face. Now, again, look, I'm aware that I'm in the wrong in this situation. And you should never... I'm not going to say that next week. But I'm aware I'm in the wrong. And I know she has every right to be mad. However, she chose, like, the worst way imaginable to handle this situation. I'm like, we're here to help you. We're the reason your city didn't get like cooked in that last fight or whatever. Like, what are you talking about? If you were mad, just say you're mad, right? Why are you doing all this extra? Like, a part of me really wanted to just say like, I really wanted to just bomb the test, like, just cause. But I didn't want to like go through the whole like, oh well, you died, here's the credit screen, and then you come back in or whatever. I'm angry at her, and I want her to know I'm angry at her. She and I would not be friends. Like, if I was the Trailblazer, bro, I'm like, let's go. We move. Bro, screw them, screw this. If the other people in Amphorius were so nice to us, I would have actually been like, alright, well, let's figure out how to fix our ship and get the heck out of here. Nah, we're not helping them. Screw them, we're done. We're going. We move. Screw them and their prophecy. Good luck to them. I'm just too petty for that. Like, once you put me in that situation where you're like holding like a gun to my head, we're enemies now. Like, that's just how it is. Like, you can't like turn around and be friends anymore after you've done that. Like, you're an op forever. It's just that easy to get on my bad side. At least in that, like, because I'm trying to think, right? Like, because like a similar situation I feel like kind of went down with like Bronya and Cocolia or whatever, right? And that's why we're talking about Bronya and not Cocolia. Because if it was Cocolia here on this list, Cocolia would probably be down here in D. But it's not, it's Bronya. And Bronya's role in that was a little different. I don't think Welt ever had me at cane point, right? And I know Topaz kind of like threatened me with a little bit, but I was ready for it. I was like, yeah, let's fight, let's do it. I'd have been ready for that. I'd still take that fight. And that's why she's only in B and not like up here anywhere, right? I just want to go through and make sure I'm not like double standards anywhere. But no, like Aglaya, bro, you can catch these hands. I know I know I was in the wrong, and she's acting on behalf of Amphorius and its citizens, trying not to recreate some catastrophe. But like, bro, you're overreacting. Why are you acting like this? You could have just sat me down and gave me a slap on the wrist, right? Like, I knew what I did was wrong. I already knew that. Like, you didn't have to say it. More or less have the Grim Reaper go and stand a couple feet behind me. I just want to antagonize her for antagonization's sake. Like, she's so disconnected from like humanity, and I know that's like a part of her character or whatever. But I'm like, bro, you can't do stuff like this and not expect me to get mad. The worst part is she doesn't care. She's like, yeah, no, I'll be the bad guy. All right, well now you're the bad guy. And people will get mad at me because I see her as the bad guy. I'm like, yeah, all right, she's the bad guy. She wants to be treated like the bad guy. Now she's the bad guy. What's the problem? Again, like, realistically, if I was being a little more fair about it, she'd probably be like up here with Sunday. You know, working on character. Look, is that better? She can be above the one that drugged me. Is that better? Are we good now? Can I get these stupid ads off my video taken down, bro? Jeez. But that's my tier list. Let's zoom it out a little bit. And let's see, if I had to nominate one character for S out of these, it's probably Herta. If it wasn't Akron. Let's go Akron, baby. Number 1, that's my girl. But that's gonna do it for today's video. Again, thank you for indulging me in this, probably hour-long video, hour plus, hour and a half. But yeah, this has been Kuzo Games, signing off.